Hey boys, welcome back to some Nrl Supercoach season 2024, and it is the first official round 1 review. First round of the season in the books, and oh my word, it was the absolute stinker. I can't believe it. I still can't quite believe what happened over the Vegas games feels like they were months ago, but then the rest of the round, just holy, everything that could go wrong basically went wrong in my team, which you don't love to see in the first round, but we finished on a score of 819, and we are ranked 79,269. The rank round 1 is pretty meaningless, and I'll say that straight off the rip, because for anyone that's newish to Supercoach, you might be in a similar position, and you'll be disheartened. But just remember, I saw on Twitter that the top score of the weekly top score, the team was god awful. Now, a team like that can obviously win the weekly round, but it was a bad team, and they scored 1,200 plus, high of 1,200s. And it's just don't fret, because a lot of those the people in the top 100, there might be a couple that hang around who made some very good choices, but most of the top few thousand are fairly rogue teams that that didn't have any of the top guns, and you will overtake them. Probably. I can't say for certainty. Who knows? Maybe this year in Supercoach, everything is just gone to shit, and all the top guys have been washed, and Benny Hunt is the new number 1 halfback. Who knows, bro? But yeah, it's not a great start. Let's go into the team and just delve into some of the absolute misery that unfolded. So as you can see, we were saved slightly. My boy Reece Robson. Now, as you know, I hadn't actually selected a dummy half in my preview, because it was sort of dictated by the fact of Kalen Ponga, and we'll get to the captaincy and all that. I can't. Just thinking about it makes me laugh. Just everything. Just everyone shit the bed. But yeah, it came down to Ponga. If Ponga went massive, I was obviously going to loop his score as vice captain, and I would have gone with Api Coruscant as my dummy half. Again, I wasn't that keen on Coruscant. I know he's got the goal kicking, probably. I'm still a little bit iffy on that, because Caesar is a very good goal kicker. So, he did goal kick in the trials, so you would expect it. But I don't know. I'm not that... If Coruscant comes out and kills it, yeah, we can probably sideways trade him. But I thought, you know what? The week is gone to shit. I can't really afford to have... it is round 1. It's not going to make a huge difference, but I thought, you know what, let's lock in a very safe Reece Robson. He got a nice try assist, and I know people will look at his score and be like, oh, he scored 64 with a try assist and a line break assist, but the game had, 43 to 18? It was stop-start, so obviously his base stats weren't as high as usual for a dummy half. The game was just try after try after try. So I'm pretty happy with the Robson pick. Is he going to turn into a keeper? Maybe. I don't know. He was he the top scorer for the dummy halves? He must have been close. I was hoping for a little bit more. I thought, if he could just jag another try assist or a try to go a big one, it would have been beautiful. But 64, I cannot complain. Danny Levi as the backup, he scored 45. The funny thing about Levi, obviously he scored a try. He played big minutes. He played almost 60 minutes straight, which is promising. I know, again, his score was in the doghouse, but I actually thought he looked okay. I was shocked when I saw his score was so low, because I thought he was pretty involved. He had a couple of runs. I thought he was involved in defense, but he had a lot of negative stats. He had a few penalties. He had some missed tackles, and I think he had an error or two. So I think the score was a little bit deceiving. So I'm not too disappointed. At 240k, I don't know. It's an interesting one, because you're not going to want to keep him, but he's probably... I don't know. We'll obviously, if you can bang out I don't know, without the negative stats, maybe he gets like 30, 35 points. Because as a starting dummy half playing 60 minutes or 50, 55 minutes straight, he's going to occasionally make like 30 tackles. Like, I don't know. It was a bit of a weird game for Levi. I'm not too caught up in it. The front row, we already discussed the front row in the Vegas recap, so we won't go into that. Farmer's Silly, 15 points. Not great. He play again. I don't know. I don't really understand the rotation here because, again, I actually thought Farmasili was pretty strong up front for them, and I thought, okay, he's on for a decent little knock here. Hopefully he comes back on and plays another 15, maybe 20 minutes, but no, he played the first 20 minutes and that was it. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was pretty good up front, so I just don't really understand the rotation there, but I guess fine. And then Sam Hughes scored 31. He was only on like 16, I think, but he updated quite a bit. So, I mean, that's good. Farmer's Silly, I don't know. There's no pressing concern to get rid of him instantly. Obviously, he becomes a bit of an AE nightmare, but the more I look at the front row, I don't like any cheapies. I know like Liam Henry did okay. I know Dave Moale, like he scored 30, but in a couple of weeks, I'm heavily considering just nuffing out the fourth front row option, just nuffing out to a dual to a front row forward. Like I was so close to doing that before the round, but I was like, no, you can't nuff out early, but honestly, I probably should have because I didn't like any of the cheapies. I should have just nuffed out and not worried about the issue because you don't want to play, even if you're forced to play like one of your backup front rowers, like it's going to be shit anyway. So just take the nuff. I should have started with that, but it's fine. At the end of the day, we can give him another week, see if he minutes increase, but unless someone pops out next week, I don't know. I'll probably just nuff him out if I'm being honest. The back row, oh boy. So this is this is where it's this is where it all fell apart. Well, one of the areas where it all fell apart. I mean, we already talked about Piakora and Tupanua. Hilm Lukey, the way the weekend was going, when he got that head knock, I was like, again, I couldn't help but laugh. It was just like every back row option I picked is just going to be an absolute shit show, but thankfully he got a garbage try and he looked good. I mean, he looked strong. It was obviously a little bit annoying that he had the head knock and then he came back on obviously second half, but then Fini Fuyaki replaced him again in the second half. So that shows to me that at the moment he's probably more looking at 60 minutes, I would think, which again, I mean, Hilm Lukey, for how attacking and destructive he is, he probably only needs 60 minutes, really, because he can go a little harder. Hopefully he works into 80 minutes, but I don't think it's not too much concern with playing only 60 minutes for Lukey. I still think that's huge value. Bo Fermor, so oh, God. So the other decision I made that I changed from the review was I had Joe Chan originally, and I was somewhat keen on Chan, but the more I was looking at it, I was like, what's the point in going down to Chan when I didn't need the money necessarily this week, because I was only looking at one trade this week and I had the cash in hand to make that Lenu to Terrell May without having to free up another couple $100K. So I was like, you know what? If Chan becomes a nightmare after a couple of weeks, it'll be a pain in the ass to get rid of him. So I thought, just start with Fermor. He's solid as. He's got potential upside, and that's what I ended up doing. Now, Chan I thought Chan looked good in the game, but he didn't play the full 80. He also didn't score well at all. So, I mean, if you've got him, it's not panic stations, because I still think just wait and see what happens with that back row spot. But I'm sort of in a good position now, because I can wait on Chan. I can see how he goes and then make the decision if I want to go down and free up some cash. We could do that, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, yeah, Furmore stunk it up though. Of course, fucking Kieran Foran was ruled out like just before the game, so as soon as that happened, I was like, come on, man. Like, I knew the Dragons. I tipped the Dragons originally, and then when Kieran Foran was out, I'm like, oh, here we go. Furmore's going to get no ball and score poorly, 34 points. And the more annoying thing here is that if I went Chan, obviously I would have played Smithies over Chan, but because I picked Furmore, 470k, obviously I was going to play Furmore over Smithies just for the potential upside and not knowing quite where Smithies' minutes would be or how he was going to fit into the rotation, but it's fine. We only missed out on double the points pretty much. Well, a little less than double, but it's fine. It's one of those little things in the game. And then Sean Lane with a whopping 41 points. I mean, did he play the 80 minutes? I think he did, right? Kelma Tuolangi came on, for God's sake, Supercoach, please. But yeah, Kelma Tuolangi came on and played through the middle, I think. We'll wait to see if it can load. Sean Lane, please. Probably like everyone's on Supercoach trying to look. Oh, for Christ's sake, man. Fine. Whatever, we're not going to look. I'm pretty sure he played 80. If not, does it have it here? Yeah, there you go. He played 80. Which is good. I mean, I know people are like panicking a little bit, but I mean, he's going to get attacking stats. He looked dangerous at times, running off Dylan Brown. It just didn't end up happening. They shut him down every time. Didn't really get... I don't think he got an offload, so I'm happy with the Lane pickup. And then Smithies. I mean, Smithies is the man. Fuck, he got the head knock, and I was like, oh, thank God, because obviously I didn't play him, but then he played the rest of the game. Yeah, 68 minutes. I think he is a must-have, if I'm honest. I know the Horsburgh issue is potentially there when Horsburgh comes back, but I just think that Horsburgh just goes straight to prop. Papali'i goes back to the bench for impact, or even Horsburgh goes to the bench for impact. And I think Ricky Stewart's going to want Smithies playing massive minutes of lock. Just a very up and down footy player, makes his tackles, makes his runs, has a little bit of a passing game, and I think that's what he'll want. So I think Smithies is a must-have, and he proved that. Yeah, he's a base stat monster. Played massive minutes, looked very good. And then we got the halves, which this is another area that just went to absolute shit. So we captained Cleary. Oh man, the roller coaster we went through with the captaincy. I thought I was on to an absolute winner, right? Because obviously Ponga didn't do well. He didn't do... he scored 50, right? Which is not what you want, but it's not great, considering some guys can go massive. So I was like, okay, we're definitely not looping 50. Then it was the decision, do you captain Cleary or Hines? Now, I was pretty locked into Cleary when Munster was ruled out. And, no Solomona... so I thought, you know what? I think Penrith, after losing the World Club Challenge, I thought they'd be a little bit more up for it. Even though, I didn't expect them to put on 30 points or anything, because I knew Storm would be firing as well, round one. They just always are. But I thought Cleary was really involved in the World Club Challenge. I think he'll do the same, and it'll be a pretty safe bet. Hines obviously had, he had that quad issue coming into the game, taking on the Warriors, tough pack to get through. I was pretty keen on Cleary, and then Hines came out. I mean, the Sharks won, which is the funny thing. And Hines scored 26 points. So I was jumping, man. I was like, oh, here we go. Cleary, he just has to go somewhat good, and I'm going to get a big swing over people, because Ponga only got 50, Hines only got 26. Cleary comes out and gets fucking 36 points, bro. You wouldn't dream about it. Yeah, the Panthers were god awful in attack. They had so much possession, so many opportunities, but it is what it is. That's Supercoach, baby. And then I'll talk about Moses here I'll talk about him now. So bro, I'm annoyed with this, but if I was a person that took the punt on Moses as a cheaper option and a pod play, I would be so filthy, because Moses was killing it And against the Dogs as well, I'm like, Moses in for a big one here. People are going to get a massive, massive swing if they took a punt on Moses. Is on like 30 points after 20 minutes, looked really involved, and then he fucking tweaks his groin and just is basically a passenger for the rest of the game. And he stays out there, but he doesn't do anything. Oh my God, I would have lost my mind. So all the halfbacks, bro, all of them, all the good ones, but it is what it is. Dylan Brown, I mean, 54 points. He did have a try assist off a kick. Yeah, he had a try assist off a kick. I mean, it's a typical Brown performance. Plenty of base. Again, I'm not concerned. It is annoying, paying $780K for a guy. You want him to go well, especially against the Dogs. It's a good matchup, but he's going to stay in the team for the long run, so I'm not. Yeah, it is what it is. It's round one. You got to take it. The centre wing. I mean, the centre wing actually, they went okay. I can't be too disappointed with the centre wing. We had Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, 46 points. I mean, it was pretty much just all in base. He would have had a few tackle breaks, but the Sharks, I mean, that's the thing with Hines. Like, Hines didn't do anything in attack, but his defense was really good. I mean, Tuivasa-Sheck kept beating Ramey in one-on-one. He kept going bang, beating him. But then Hines kept covering across really well to shut him down. It was very frustrating to watch. But I was just watching it like, I mean, Tuivasa-Sheck looks good, man. I've seen so many people on Twitter being like disappointed with Tuivasa-Sheck. I'm like, he scored 50 points and he didn't have like any attacking stats. People lose their minds over just such weird things. Like, after this weekend, I'm like, 50 points, bro, that is a miracle. Taylor May, 67. I gotta be honest, I'm shocked he didn't score like 70, 80. He looked unbelievable. I mean, 67 is good. And again, he didn't really have any major attacking stats. I think he had a line break, but I thought he was going to score more than that. He had so many tackle busts. He looked easily the most dangerous player for Penrith. They just gave him the ball and he was causing all sorts of havoc. So, I mean, everyone's got him. He's a must-have. Tuapiki, got to be happy with that. Again, 50 points. I don't think he had any sort of big attacking stats, just pretty much in base and tackle bust. So, happy with that. Played him, obviously, as a fullback. And then Ben Trbojevic, we already talked about. Very good. And then our reserves, I mean, Bostock got a nice little try at the end. I mean, I just need Bostock. Like I said when I picked him, we just need Bostock to get on a bit of a try scoring run, make some quick cash. I mean, 38 points are not going to make quick cash, but hopefully he can get a couple of tries in a row and make some quick cash to get him out of the team, because he's going to be a little bit of a nightmare, I think. Ethan Strange, 28 points. I mean, he just didn't really get involved. I gotta be honest, I mean, the Raiders look good and they won, but I wasn't very impressed with Strange, if I'm honest. But he's a young kid playing 5'8" for the first time in top grade, so give him a bit of time, and as cheapies go, he's definitely up there. And then Jacob Gagai, we already talked about. Also, the other decision, I did end up bringing Galvin as my sort of bit of a nuff 5'8", but hoping he gets a shot at some point. Yeah, just freed up a bit of cash. And again, like I thought, you know what? I don't really need a second 5'8" with Dylan Brown. I mean, a couple of the cheaper 5'8s did pretty well, like Kyle Flanagan, but I don't know. I'm still not that interested in them. And then the fullbacks, Trbojevic, we already talked about, and then Ponga. Who would have known the 50 would be a massive swing for people that went Ponga over Cleary and Hines? I can't believe it. And the people that captain like Trbojevic or Mitchell or fucking Reece Walsh in the Vegas games are just like, they're cheering, man. But it's round one. What can you say? The other thing I will say with Fermor, the annoying thing with Fermor is that I forgot that the Titans had a bye in round 2, because I remember when I ended up switching back to Fermor, in my head the reasoning was like, Fermor, solid option, and then also if like Tupanua and Piakora are out for round 2, at least I'll have Fermor as well as another backup option. But I forgot he's I'm gonna buy in round 2, bro. That's very annoying. So again, at the end of the day, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have got. I didn't want to go Curran. I mean, I know Curran still scored okay. Coming off the bench, he played big minutes, but none of the other back rowers I was that keen on, other than, like, man, I mean, if we could look back, instead of spending up in the fucking halfbacks and hooker, and I mean, front row actually was pretty good. You should have spent up in the front row, back row, and the gun centre wings, honestly. I mean, Garrick, Holmes, Tino, Fanua Blake, killed it. So, yeah, bit of a weird week. Looking to round 2, I'm not going to make the changes yet. We'll wait till team list and then do a proper round 2 preview. But at the moment, the only trade I'm looking at is Lenu to Terrell May. So, as you see, I've got 114 in the bank. So, easy enough. And then, I mean, we'll see what happens. Like, Piakora, Tupanua, if Piakora is ruled out with the head knock, it's not the end of the world. I would love Tupanua to be fit for that game, just because I just want to see what the minutes are like for Tupanua. I don't want to get rid of him just yet, because it looked like he was on track to play potentially 80 minutes on the edge, and Sia Wong was the guy that was going to get replaced, but we don't know. So I'm just hoping that Tupanua is fit for the round 2 game and we can get a better idea. Other than that, I mean, everyone else, what can you say? I'm still pretty happy with the team. Like, I think the team is pretty okay. The front row is obviously a bit of a disaster, but you know, what can you really do with that? Let's have a look. Who was the top scorer? So yeah, Bryce Cartwright. I should have known. I should have known. He was my absolute pod sensation last year, starting with him. Had him the whole season. I should have showed faith and picked him up. But, I mean, you couldn't go him with so many options in second row. But, God, he looked good. He played through the middle. He played on the edge. The offloads, the tries. Unbelievable. I mean, Mitchell there second. Val Holmes, Zach Lomax. Oh, fucking Val Holmes look good. Joey Manu, Fanua Blake, Tyrell Sloan, 1% of people. Zach Labert. Oh, Zach Labert look juicy. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, if Tuivasa-Sheck next week comes out and, I don't know, has a bit of a mess score again, and Labert kills it again, I guess you could look at the option of downgrading Tuivasa-Sheck to Labert. You would free up like 70k, and then you'd also make a bunch of cash on Labert. You could do that. I wouldn't do it this week. I definitely wouldn't do it this week, because I still think Tuivasa-Sheck has that potential in him. But I mean, Labert looked really good. If I could make cash and trade up to him, I would love to, but it's a little bit tricky. Ruben Garrick, Zach Hosking, 92. I mean, he's probably not going to keep the spot, but he looked good. Nanai, Fatala Mariner. I mean, Fatala Mariner, he's probably another watch, because Leilua is going to be back this week. Blake Laurie's going to be back, so it's a little bit, again, a bit iffy to see what happens with the Dragons forward pack, but you know, it is what it is. I want to see who was the top scoring hooker, dude. The hookers. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jacob Little pipped it. 71 points, man. Fucking Little. He played big minutes. I mean, I couldn't take the risk on him just because of the hamstring issue. It's just so annoying he got that hamstring issue in the trials, because I probably would have taken the punt on him, even with Malholzen on the bench at 460k. But again, you got to remember, they were taking the Titans. They do have the Dolphins this week as well, though, so it's a good couple of draw for the Dragons. Who have they got coming up? So obviously the Dolphins, which is very nice. Cowboys, Manly, Newcastle. Dude, the Dragons have such a good draw. Holy shit. Ooh, that is a damn good opening draw. Yes. It just is. It just is. But Dragons are a team that goes up and down for sure. Reece Robson, third top scorer. Sonny Luke, 62. How did he score 62? He was terrible. He was so bad. Oh, man. Joey Lussick. So 11% of people still had Lussick, which... he did play like 60 minutes, I think. He played big minutes, but hands did come on at the end. It is what it is. Marshall King, Marnie, Grant, 49. 33% of people are absolutely filthy. But, they were taking on Penrith. So, this was the reason why I wasn't keen on starting Grant, because they had a tough round 1 game. They got a bye in round 4. So, it was a couple of games where you're not going to get big scores from Grant. But yeah, he will become the best dummy half. He will overtake these guys, and then not much else. That's probably gonna do. I think we got some decisions to make going forward, but we'll wait till team lists come out and then decide what we're gonna do. At the moment, it's leaning towards just one trade, but I wouldn't mind freeing up a little bit of cash somewhere to make trades in the next couple of weeks. But again, we'll see how things shape up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the wrap up. Hopefully you guys did better than me. But again, like I said at the start, don't fret too much about the rankings in round 1, because just so many guys that are probably not going to keep it up for the season went incredible, and then all the guns pretty much failed. Like, it's just what happens. So don't get too caught up in it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.